Hello and welcome everyone. This is inventRight co-founder Andrew Krause. I'm over there on the left, and I co-founded inventRight with Stephen Key, who's also over there on the left, over 20 years ago. And we've been coaching and mentoring inventors ever since. We've had students in over 65 countries, and we have a great webinar for you tonight. But before we get started with the webinar tonight, we're going to tell you about another one we have coming up next week. So Stephen, why don't you talk about Dan?
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Andrew. Next Thursday, May 14th, of course, at 5 p.m. PST, he's got PDT, but anyway, we have another special guest. We have the president of Lifetime Brands, Andrew.
Yeah.
Lifetime Brands is an amazing kitchen company. They're one of the largest kitchen companies, I think, in the US. I mean, if you ever go to the trade show in Chicago for the home and kitchenware, you're going to be blown away. I mean, I think it's a whole aisle that it's dedicated to Lifetime Brands and all their products. But the president's going to come on and he's going to talk about open innovation. He's going to talk about what do we need to do if we're inventors during the coronavirus? Are they still looking for ideas? And what type of ideas are they looking for? And that's going to be next week. So please don't miss it.
Yeah, amazing. Just a few of the brands: Kitchen, KitchenAid, Farberware, Instapot. A lot of these brands you're familiar with. So yeah, don't miss that one, guys. If you're registered for this one, you're automatically registered for the next one too. So don't worry about that. So let me go up here. Okay. So tonight's guest is a very special guest. His name is John Cremeans, and he's one of the first on-air home shopping hosts and is a pioneer in the home shopping industry. Unbelievably, as a national television host and guest, he has clocked over 35,000 live television hours, guys, 35,000, $2 billion in sales, and 100,000 product presentations. Wow. He's one up on us, Stephen. Probably add all our students together. I don't know if it'd be that much. But in 2014, the Electronic Retailing Association honored John by naming him the best product expert in the direct response category worldwide. John is a whole lot of fun. He has a true passion for inventors and their inventions. And he sent over this quick 14-second reel. And so we're going to go ahead and play that. There's going to be a little delay, but here we go.
More.
You know, you always leave them wanting more.
Welcome, John Cremeans. That's quite a reel there. I like how it was very brief and to the point, man.
Yeah, it's one of the fast ones. I mean, it just kind of goes over a little bit from the start. That was my first network I ever worked for was AVN, America's Value Network. And that's where I had the mustache and I had dark hair, didn't even look anything near where I look today. And then it kind of goes through just all the video and audio and some of the other, kind of unique experiences I've had a chance to be a part of in this well over 30-year career. Actually, over half my life. I mean, I got into it when I was 22 years old. I'm 58 now.
Wow. Well, John, thank you very much. We're going to go through, I think the next slides, we're going to go through some of the things that John has done. But you know what's really amazing to me, and I'm really glad we have John on tonight, he knows how to pitch products. He knows how to interact with an audience. He knows how to get people to purchase. He knows how to highlight the benefit. He's like the greatest pitchman. And I think all inventors that are listening tonight, that's what we're doing. We're pitching. So
well,
I
think about
John's
this.
Going to give it.
The picture you guys have up on the left right now is the guy, young man, John Cremeans, 22 years old, didn't know what he was doing, had no idea how the heck this was going to turn out, had been on radio for a long time, was in the Twin City market, a couple radio stations, and all of a sudden I got this, my brother started working at America's Value Network. He was a cameraman. Were looking for hosts. They had no idea what they were doing. So that guy right there had no idea how to sell. I couldn't have sold you a tennis shoe or a piece of leather or even a Slim Jim, even if you were hungry. I had no idea what sales were. All I knew is how to talk and be on radio, right? The guy on the right is the guy that became the guy that knew how to sell, and his name was me, and I was the doctor of shopology. I got that name from one of the viewers of America's Value Network, and one time I was selling something, I was selling a piece of jewelry, and she said, "Oh my God, John, you know everything. You're telling me all about this." She goes, "What are you, the doctor of shopology?" And I said, "Why, yes, I am." And so the doctor was born. As a matter of fact, that is the doctor of shopology right there. We used to do a show called Sold Outrageous. And what it was we were literally having fun selling products on TV. Just imagine David Letterman and Jay Leno selling stuff and still having skits and having people around you. That's what Sold Outrageous was. And CVN later became QVC. QVC bought them many years ago. Then from there I went to HSN, the home shopping channel. And that's where probably, if you have watched HSN over the last 30 years, you probably would have saw me most. Midnight to 3, I did 14 years straight. I was the guy that started the day for HSN. Then I did the morning show for 8 years and a few other things. But that's kind of where I got my, how I got my start and learned how to pitch. Because at the beginning, it was just, here's a box, here's what it does. Oh, here's the product. And if you didn't see anything on a box, it was just a brown box, you were in trouble. You had to literally have the knowledge and build it enough where you can actually, even if you had no idea what the product was, could put it in your hand and sell it for what it was. And there are a lot of people that in this industry that can't do that. Did I lose you?
No, next slide, please.
Okay.
No, yeah,
we're just captivated, John. We're just listening, man.
I'm thinking, oh my God.
I want to let everybody know that John has 3 videos of his pitches, and he's gonna teach you guys some stuff in a bit here. So yeah. We're gonna be playing some of those videos.
I was afraid I put you to sleep, or either that, or you were like gone already. Well, and here's two guys. Here's 2 guys that I really were my best friends. Some of the best friends in this industry, guys that I've always looked up to, guys that really actually started after me. Anthony Sullivan there on the left, but of course everyone knows the guy on the right, yeah. Billy Mays. He was an amazing pitch guy. He was probably one of the most personable, lovable, big hunk of guys you could possibly ever want to be around. When he would come into HSN, my goodness, they literally would continue to just love everything about him. Everybody wanted to see him, talk to him. And you know what was great about Billy is he kept the regular guy stuff. He kept the regular guy. So he talked to everybody. He would not go out of the building until he had said something to anybody and everybody that wanted to talk to him. So these, that little picture right there was the premiere of Pitchman, the TV show for Discovery Channel. And that was also the night that I decided that I was going to leave HSN and become my own guy. I was getting a little older. I decided that it was time to go out and spread my wings, maybe perhaps, create my own business. So, and as we look forward, you can go ahead and keep spinning through the if you guys would like, on the stills. Basically, I became a guest at HSN where I would literally sell all kinds of different products. I mean, heck, I've done every category known to man. I've sold jewelry, fashions, electronics, home solutions, outdoor products, automotive. I've sold fashion. At one time, I had the largest or highest dollar per minute on a sewing machine at a shopping channel, and I'm a guy, for heaven's sakes. What do I know, right? This was, after being a guest for so many years after I left HSN, and I was guesting all over the world. I've been on shopping channels in Europe, QVC in London, QVC in Italy, and in Germany as well. But this was something, this is given to me by my peers at the Electronic Retailing Association and their Moxie Awards. I had no idea. I was up against a man named Akos Jinkura and another gentleman that many people know now, Mark Gill. He's got a beard and mustache, and he's a loud guy, and he's on TV a lot. And I was up against those 3, and I thought, well, I'll never get it. I'm not worried about it. And I really didn't worry about it until they called my name. And I was probably as shocked as anybody. it was an amazing time, and it's still one of the highlights of my life. Outside of my kids and married to my wife and some of the other things that happened to me, over the years, this moment right here to be recognized by your peers and to let, and to be told that you are as good as what they believe you are. And it was just too amazing time. So we can go on, but that always brings me to tears, and I want to start crying now because we got other things to talk about. Then, at one point we had a radio show, and I was nationally syndicated after I had left HSN on a place called, My Cool Inventions, and I created a digital TV studio where basically we had a Roku channel and also on Android TV with inventions and gadgets, and we brought inventors on. So that's how I got more into the inventor community. It was where and entrepreneur community. It's where I had a chance to literally step out of the realm of being in front of the camera and helping the people that were getting their products that I would maybe one day sell on camera. It was definitely an amazing show. No, it's no longer there, but it was one of the things that I did. I want to say 8 years. And we talked to inventors every day. We'd have 3 to 4 entrepreneurs on a day. You had a chance to let them sell their product, or let the audience decide on the pitch. And it's where I started saying, I made a good living. I lived a great life on television selling stuff, that it was my turn to give back to the entrepreneurs and the inventors that that needed that experience, right? And that's why I started starting tutoring and mentoring inventors and these entrepreneurs that didn't know how to pitch their invention and product. Because in today's world, when you look at it, in today's world, an inventor will go from the start of the idea. They spend huge amounts of money on getting a patent. They spend a huge amount of money getting it, getting a prototype and manufacturing. And by the time it's all done, most of them forget that at the end, they need to market it. They need to really be talking to people that are going to take their, their whatever it is, their widget, and make it a better thing. So that's how, this whole micro inventions idea came about with me and another co-host. And we decided, okay, that was going to be our avenue. That's how we were going to give back to inventors. And every inventor that was on, they were on for free, right? And basically, it was a chance for them to get an experience that maybe they wouldn't get a chance any other way. Let's go ahead and flip to the next one if we can, guys. Because it's just, in this world, there's so many things that happen, whether it's infomercials, and certainly I've been in over 40, from the Window Wonderland. I've sold products for Martha Stewart TV to the military on the military shopping channel, which I created and built. And then also other infomercials, and still one that's running today. Actually, it is 12 years later, the Dr. Ho Physio belt for back pain. Every once in a while, you see me and this little Chinese guy, Dr. Ho, and we're selling a back pain belt that has been on the air for 11 years straight, which is shocking in the that industry because it is so hard to get into, and so many infomercials fail over time. So that's some of the things that I did after I left HSN and the shopping channel. Continue to take my pitching ability around the world. That's one of the shots with one of the morning guys on QVC in London, and from there, QVC Italy, HSC 24 in Germany. I've had a chance to kind of take the American style of pitching and take it to countries that don't even speak our language, for heaven's sakes, but they love American invention. And then on the side, I also create B-roll, which is B-roll for videos and for people's pitches and take pictures. This happened to be one where I had to find snow. I live in Florida, and it just snowed in Denver an hour, and within 3 hours, I'm on a plane flying there so I can get a vehicle that's the same make as what they're going to sell on HSN and have a product and literally go where the snow was. So, and this being an entrepreneur means you have to do a lot, and you have to be a master of everything. And that's what kind of my mantra is. I try to be the guy that you can go to first for any question. And then I also speak to inventor groups, entrepreneur groups. This happened to be one I did years ago on in South Carolina at the Charleston Inventors Association. And I was talking about the television shopping channels, and I do a whole thing on that too. It's changed now that you've got HSN and QVC together and Curate, and Evine is now back to Shop HQ. And it's a floundering network, but still there are avenues outside of the traditional retailer where you can take an invention or an idea and make a decent amount of money, even in today's world where that whole industry is changing dramatically. Now, as far as pitching though, and we're going to talk about pitching your products coming up, and I think this is something that a lot of you have an idea, you have an invention, maybe perhaps it doesn't always have to be an invention. You're an entrepreneur, you've come up with a new idea to do something and you're trying to pitch it. There's always things that we can look at as to why it worked, how it worked. Let's do this. I want to show a video here, and I'm going to call this Pitch School. And no, you don't have to have a number 2 pencil. You don't have to have an eraser. You don't have to have anything like that. Okay. But what we're going to try to do in the next minutes here, as we talk, and I'm going to answer questions too. So go ahead and make sure that you put out the questions that you have, because we're going to answer questions here. But you don't want to be like the next slide. Years ago, there used to be pitch guys that were on TV, or maybe you saw them at the fair, and you wondered, okay, well, wait a minute, they're pitch guys aren't just, you always thought that they were always the comical guys, the weird guys, the over the top guys. Well, it's changed a lot, and if you were to do that, and like these guys, where you're selling the sizzle, just don't sell the steak. Or I kind of like in the bottom left guy who's doing a beer, it looks like, and looks mighty fine, or Zip Ultra. These guys were the old way of doing things. Okay, the flashy, over the top car salesman type sales that in the end doesn't give you the kind of credibility you want unless it's real. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, where reality and your reality and how you relate to the viewer relates to you, or anybody for that matter. You could be over the top as long as you're believable, as long as people think, well, oh my gosh, that guy's just gregarious, he's a great guy, I want to hang out with that guy. But there are a lot of times where over the top doesn't work, and it might show you the door faster than you can possibly imagine. So right after this, here's what I want to do. I want to play one of the first videos, if I can, guys. And it's one where it was called I Heater. And this I Heater video was one that I did with a local news girl. Her name was Gail Gallardo in Tampa Bay. And I Heater was one of those quartz heaters. Basically, here you got a heater. How are you going to show it? How is it going to work? What's my demo going to be? Can I show that it's actually heating things up? Well, yeah. And so in this video that we want to show that is called I Heater, we found some interesting ways to show an audience that couldn't be around it, could see it on TV, and then say, ooh, okay, now I understand. I mean, that actually is putting out heat. And if we can, guys, let's go ahead and run that video. And I'm going to go back to our slide presentation here and start right here. Let's look at the video first. I'll show you.
And now, here are your hosts to tell you all about the revolutionary new I Heater.
Hi, I'm John Cremeans.
I'm Gail Gallardo. Thank you so much for joining us. John, a lot of us spend most of our time in just a few rooms of the house.
That's true, but think about this. Most people in America today heat their entire home. And in a few seconds, we're going to show you how you can actually reduce your energy costs drastically.
We should check it out.
Yeah, matter of fact, let's go ahead and take a look at it.
All right.
I mean, this is a remarkable new technology in heating. It's not like the space heaters of years ago. It actually uses a quartz infrared heating element. You can cut your energy cost in half. That's definitely the way to do it. You called it heat-seeking technology. You also called it sunshine in a box, and it is. Boy, with some of the record temperatures that we're talking about, people are going to be using their heating oil more, they're going to be using energy more, and it's going to cost them drastically this year. And in today's economy, that's the last thing we want to hear.
Yeah, people just can't afford it. And infrared heating technology is not necessarily new, but the I Heater
fits into the whole zone heating model that we were talking about earlier. Because now you can actually turn down the main thermostat in your home 2, 3, maybe 4, 5 degrees, and just have the I Heater wherever your family are. I mean, maybe perhaps you're in the living room watching TV, or maybe you're in the kitchen making dinner. Wherever your family is, put the I Heater and get the kind of heat that you want. Think about that for a second. Now, you think sunshine in a box, it's got to be hot, like the old style heaters. Put your hand here.
I know.
It's nice and cool, right? I happen to bring my temperature device with me.
Did you?
We're going to take a look at it here. I mean, right now, we're looking at the outside of the eye heater, and it's about 85 degrees, right? And if you have a young child or a son or daughter, they touch the outside of the box.
You can even touch the grate of this. The power of the eye heater is on the inside where it belongs.
Let me show you, because right inside the unit itself, but take a look, and it's still climbing up to 190,
there it is.
200 degrees on the inside of the unit, but on the outside, once again, it's at 85 degrees. Hundreds of thousands of people are saving money every single time they turn their eye heater on. Let's hear from some of those that are enjoying the eye heater in their home.
Breakthrough in technology that will save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on your heating bills over time.
Most of the country is already feeling blasts of Arctic air. Don't let old man winter send your heating bills through the roof.
That's right. Now there's a state-of-the-art affordable heating system available that could cut your heating bills nearly in half.
So say goodbye to energy-eating old furnaces.
And start saving big on your heating bills.
Introducing the revolutionary eye heater.
The eye heater is safe, more efficient, and costs less than any comparable heater that you can buy. Isn't it unbelievable how many people save so much money using the eye heater? I mean, you just heard it. There are satisfied customers all over the country that use the eye heater.
Gail, it's because they know they're staying warm. They're saving money. And even more importantly, they know the eye heater is safe. When people are doing zone heating, where they only live in a couple rooms of their house, whether it's maybe their kitchen, maybe it's a living room, maybe it's a bedroom, they take the eye heater in there, they lower the temperature in the rest of the house, and they still have a comfortable place to be. And now let's hear from people just like you about how they're enjoying the eye heater in their home.
The eye heater works.
Yeah, we went on location with a thermal camera, and this camera can actually let you see where the heat is in a room. So we took the old style space heater, we turned it on, we saw that the heat kind of stayed around the space heater. It didn't go around the rest of the room. And what you're about to see is how amazing the eye heater entirely penetrates the room with incredible and comfortable heat. Take a look.
Now you can heat only the rooms you use.
Yeah, it's called zone heating. And people all over the country are using this method to stay comfortable, warm, and safe during these brutal winter months.
And so basically what we just saw was the beginning of a new way to heat your home with quartz heating. But what I wanted you to get out of that, and as you look at that, notice that you felt like that we were just talking to you. Forget everybody else that might be listening to the podcast or whoever might have been watching that on TV at the time, and it ran national for a good 2 years. But imagine that you're that person. Did you feel like we were talking to a group of people or just you? That's going to be the key. It's that believability, that trustworthiness, that look in the eye. Look, it's not a camera I'm looking at. I'm looking at you. And I'm imagining that you're sitting there on your chair. You're sitting there at your desk. You're there in your home. You've invited us in. And every part of that pitch, every time that I looked at the camera, every time that I looked at, to tell you about the amazing eye heater and to demonstrate it, was I was talking to really only one person. It may have been a lot of people, but I wanted, and this is really key. This is where your believability, this is where your trustworthiness, this is where people start to trust you and feel that you're talking to them and them alone. So you're not saying, hey guys, hey gals, hey everybody. You're just saying, hey. You're literally looking and talking to them. That's going to be a big key as we go through my pitching your product segment of this. But remember, that's important. That connection that you have with whoever it is. And it doesn't have to be just on camera. It can also be in an audience. It could be in you could be around a group of people. You could be at a fair. You could be at an inventors show. Maybe you're at the Las Vegas hardware show, or you're at the houseware show, which is always in Chicago, or any of the other shows, right? It's that connection that you have, and it has to be immediate. And a lot of that you saw in that video. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna break down the pitch real quickly, because I got more I want to show you, but there's things about the pitch that are very important. And if you've got this far and you're with Steven, you're with Andrew and their group, you already have an idea. You've thought about a product, you've come up with a solution, and then wait a minute. Really, your problem. You've created a solution to a problem. And how do you take that problem that you saw in your mind, and how do you convey that to the person that you may want to sell your product to? Or better yet, maybe down the line, sell it to a retailer, or have a retailer sell it, or have it licensed. You know, you've come up with a problem. So in your process, in your mind's eye, you created a problem that you saw it, you knew you had to find a solution for it, and then you came up with a solution, right? Your solution is big in this equation, because the problem, I mean, everybody probably has. The solution is what people don't have, and that's where you're filling their need. You know, you think of it: problem, solution. Problem, my glass doesn't have enough ice. Solution, I have the amazing ice maker that I can pour right out of my hand. And so what you've done is, you know, found the problem and solution. And sometimes in most pitches, if you can start with that in that first minute, minute and a half, problem, solution, and man, do I have the solution, and get them wowed in that first minute, minute and a half, they're going to listen to you further. So your development of your whole problem, solution, problem is the problem you solve. The solution is a solution that's really going to say, hey, yours doesn't work, but my product will make it a lot easier to live life. My product will help you have a better life, or will aid you in your everyday life, right? So you've got a problem, and remember, you go in this route, and you'll always be able to develop at least a first pitch, a pitch where you can start. So problem, solution, go into why theirs doesn't work, and they probably in their mind's eye have already started to envision themselves with the same problem. So when you're talking to somebody, and you know, people like Steven, Andrew, myself, anybody that, you know, where an inventor or an entrepreneur might meet us, the first thing they want to do is they don't know what to do. So they'll start talking about everything, and they'll forget that, you know, we don't have as much time as they think we do. We don't have an hour, 2 hours. We may only have a couple minutes. So your best bet to get me interested, as I'm walking down an aisle, or Steven's looking at things, or Andrew, you really need to come up with something that is, you know, your problem solution, and give me a hook that says, in my mind's eye, if I were to close it and you were to say, John, have you ever had this problem before where you're blah, 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 and then I'm thinking, yeah, and I'm thinking you're describing it well enough where I could close my eyes, envision myself having the same problem, and then voila, here comes your solution, right? So a lot of that, you know, it takes time to really procure that and get natural with that. But whether you're practicing in a mirror, maybe you're practicing amongst your friends and you're talking to friends and family, you can do that. Now, the thing that I wanted you to get out of that video that we just saw was that one-on-one, that nature of, he's looking at me, he's talking to only me. There could be thousands of me out there, but he's only really talking to me. That you can also master. That is a key to becoming you know, credible. It is the key to become believable. It is the key that people will literally key in on and say, man, he's looking right at me, and he's talking to me. He's not talking to the 15, 20, 30, you know, million people out here. He's literally talking to me. Now, here's what I would do. This is how you get over this, because this is a technique that I did. And you know, remember, when I started in the television shopping industry, there were no rules. There was nothing saying you do this way, do it that way. We were all creating the rules as we were doing it. So basically, you know, I would be looking at this camera, this big metal, large lens camera with a guy standing behind it, a couple other guys behind their cameras. And I was thinking, okay, so I've got to talk to that camera. How am I going to talk to that camera? Because, you know, most people kind of shy away from it. It's like, oh, you know, what am I going to say? What am I thinking? What am I going to do? Right? But a lot of people, when you look at the camera, here's what I did. I started imagining that camera as a person, somebody that, you know, I knew, somebody like, oh, it could be my brother, or my best friend, or, you know, it could be your wife, it could be your boyfriend. But the camera then becomes them. And everything that you do with that camera is the way that you would talk to you know, someone face to face. Yeah, it's kind of inanimate. It just sits there, doesn't laugh with you, doesn't cry with you, just sits there. It's just there with a lens and a little red light. But at the moment that little red light comes on, if you can continue to remember that you're having a conversation not with a million people, You're having a conversation with Bill, who might be at his desk, or Karen might be in the kitchen making something, or Kelly's there on the dinner, and maybe cleaning up or ironing, right? You're talking to them individually. So you never go out and even though you're in front of a group, make it feel like you're talking to the group. Everyone in that group should feel like you're talking to them. So if you keep that eye contact, and guys and gals, it is so important. Now see what I just did? I did the wrong thing. I literally said, guys and gals, I want you to believe me. I want you to understand. And I want you to see that this problem that I found, that I have the perfect solution that can help you in your daily lives, that I've just taken away the whole group. Even if you have a group around you, I right now have just said, okay, look, this is the way I'm going to do it. I'm doing it just with you. I'm telling you exactly what I found, or the solution to a problem that I found that really is better than what you've been doing in the past, and it makes and my product is so much better, and it makes your life just so much more easy. And you got them. At that point, if you can pull that off, now whether you're making a video presentation, a video that might be a product video for your, that you're going to send to a retailer or somebody that might be interested in your product or invention, you can be your own pitchman for your product. I mean, you know it probably better than anyone, but you need to get some of those little, what I call the steps right and correct, like knowing your problem really well, because you knew it. You knew it when you first made the invention or the idea, so you know the solution, and you know the best way probably of anyone to say what that problem is and what that solution is. Just remember to look at that camera, look at it directly, look into it like it's your friend or family, and talk to them one-on-one. Don't
Hey,
talk
John,
like you're talking to a group.
John, I
Yes,
have a
yeah?
question.
Yeah.
Watching the video, which is wonderful, you kept on saying three things that really hit home to me.
Okay.
You told me that I have a product that's going to keep you warm,
Yes.
that it's safe, and it's going to save you money.
Mm-hmm.
You kept on hitting those three things over and over. So when you're pitching a product, is that something that's in your mind? Have you written it down? I mean, how do you know to convey that message over and over again as well as you did?
Well, you know what, my way, only because, I've done it for so long and I've had different types of heating products on. I know the touch points, the key touch points that most people will, when they look at a heater, will say, okay, I'm looking for cost of it. It's going to cost me a lot of money. Is it one of those heaters that runs all the time and my electric bill is going to go up? Is it going to keep me warm? Most people don't believe that heaters will keep them warm unless it's really close. Quartz heaters, they heat an entire room. They just don't heat one little section of a room like the old style heaters. And is it safe? Because they've got kids, they have pets. They've seen their kids get burned or pets get burned because they got too close to a unit that was hot, like the old way, right? So those 3 points I knew. And that doesn't, it doesn't mean that no one else could do that. It's just that I have the experience and have been around it long enough, and having pitched over 100,000 different types of product. Now that's just 100,000 different types. There's a lot of subtypes and a lot of other things that go around, but they all have several, key ingredients or same things that they would have that you could sell for any heater. I could have sold a different heater, and I would still pitch it with those three, those key touch points.
John, was that something that the person that made it, the inventor, told you, or is that something you related to yourself that you could convey to the audience?
Well, I looked at what I thought first, right? I got a script. It was okay, but there weren't the things that I know people that buy heaters want to hear.
Okay.
So and of course there's always a little bit of touch and go back and back. Okay, let's see what we have. Then they went out and they had people. They saw how people responded to the certain touch points that I said, and the certain touch points that they thought. And sure enough, the ones that I had, or the ones that I thought, were the ones that we did. So sometimes you can actually find touch points for the pitch by testing with an audience and getting their reaction to what you're saying to a certain product or an idea that they might be interested in. So it's all part of that whole, once you come up with a problem and solution, and you're building your idea, you're getting it manufactured, you're licensing, whatever, you've in your head already come up with the reasons why that somebody needs your product. And usually that first thought in your mind is usually right.
It seemed to me that you were able to tell that story that the audience could identify with. And
Oh yeah, you have to.
they were living it with you, kind of. That's how I felt when you're telling that story of connecting those three things.
Well, I mean, think about that for a second. I mean, because most people that watch don't watch attentively, unless they are interested in the product, right? So I mean, you have to be able to kind of relate it to them so that they start getting drawn in, because they're hearing a story that kind of relates to their life. And that's how, when you're pitching a product or an idea, and it's your first go, and you're talking to people like, let's say, Stephen, like you or Andrew or me, or anyone else that might be able to help them with your product or idea or your invention, you've got to make it so they believe it, they feel it, they sense it, that they're part of the story. And if you can't get them involved with it, they're really not going to be the connection that they need to have to make that next step. And that next step would be purchasing your idea, right? So you need to have somebody that you brought in, because you conveyed the need, the want, the desires. You conveyed to those touch points in their head for them to buy whatever you're selling. And if you can do that, you know, and be believable, look into their eyes, you know, they're gonna. You can lead them down a different path, a wandering path, and they're still going to come to the same place. You hit on the key points that made them want to buy it.
John, tell me this: how important is it? You do this, you've done this for many, many years. I mean, it's easy for you, but let's say you're an inventor, you're just starting out and you don't really understand what those touch points are going to be. Could someone practice that to really identify with it? Is it something you just do in front of your family, your friends? How can you prepare for that to hit those touch points to see those reactions?
See, I was lucky enough and extremely fortunate enough to work in an industry that at the time was the first ever. And so I could make those mistakes. I could say the stupid things that were wrong. I had the ability to do that because no one knew what to say. But as time went on, we had research, and what I could do when I was on air, let's say I'm selling a product that you created, and I'm online and I'm on TV and I'm talking about it. We had computer screens. I could literally tell within 10 seconds of saying something, I knew exactly who was reacting and who wasn't. So if I saw a big spike, you know, I saw a bunch of calls come in, I knew that what I had said about 10 seconds ago was memorable. People, it adapted to them. They felt it, right? So they called. So I started looking at that and watching that. That was part of my research in developing pitches, well, for, you know, over 100,000 different products, because I knew what was hitting them. I could see it. So the only way that you would get like somebody that's outside of, let's say, the television shopping industry, or you're trying to figure that out, there's research available. But what I would do, and you may not be, it may not be as scientific, it may not be as cool as watching a computer screen changing color for every dollar per minute that you are being judged by, or a product was being judged by. And oh, by the way, a $250,000 minute was a deep kind of purple blue color. I only know that because it was on my show. And I saw because it would change colors every dollar per minute. But you start to equate that with how they're reacting. So what I would do, if I didn't have that kind of research available, I would be pitching to family. I'd be pitching to friends. You can't take the fact that they go, oh, that was so great, you're awesome, because they're always going to do that. They love you, they care about you. What you need to do is go to, you know, people you don't know. It's going to be a tougher time because you're going to be a little shell shocked, a little nervous. But the more times you can do that, just like the pitchmen, when they're on their booth and, you know, there are new guys and gals that are doing the mops and all this other stuff, right? They have to go through 10,000 pitches before they get it right. They don't know exactly how the audience is going. They may have somebody telling them how to do it, but it's not till they get up in the thousands where they've said it enough times that they can see the actual responses of people that are around them. So don't let your research not include pitching it to people, pitching your idea, letting them know what you're trying to sell and why you're trying to sell it. And the moment you start doing this enough and you start seeing the reaction, that becomes your database. You start then knowing that, okay, I got to hit this point, this point, this point. Because I saw, you know, a couple people go, you know, the light came on. You saw it happen. You can see it in the reaction. You can see if they decided that they wanted it. I mean, those kind of things, it's not easy to do, but it is the right way. It's the correct way to really become the perfect pitch person for your products. You really got to pitch it enough and believable enough where people start to agree with you and want your product or idea.
John, you got two other videos here, the Sync Cyclone and the Cook's Air Grill. They're both shorter. Did you want to play one of those?
Yeah, let's do that. You know, the Cook Air Grill is kind of interesting. I was a spokesman for @SeenOnTV.com, and they were trying to do like a 2-minute special without really a lot of demo. Basically, the product was sitting on a table and you had to sell it. You know, kind of like what you do when you go to a trade show, right? You have a table in front of you, you have your product there, you might have a couple of videos, you hope, but I mean, want something where you're like literally out there and you have to do it. So let's run that, and I'll kind of show you some of the ifs, the goods and the bads out of it. But it was called the Cook Air Grill.
Hi, I'm John Cremeans with a special deal of the day here on SeenOnTV.com. If you love to grill, but you're tired of how big and heavy and bulky your regular grill can be, and you want to make it portable, then you got to check out the Cook Air Grill. Not only is this one of the most powerful and most portable on the marketplace today, it can get up to temperatures of 1100 degrees in less than 5 minutes. Now, when you order the Cook Air Grill, you can take this anywhere. Whether you're at a park, maybe you're tailgating at your favorite game, or better yet, maybe you're on your boat, or you're just in the backyard. It can be powered 3 different ways. It has a convection type blower that literally helps to fan the flames, to make them brighter and make them hotter. You can use it by plugging it in if this is on your patio. Now, if you're in your car or your boat, you're going to want the adapter that comes along with it. Or if there's no power anywhere, it can even operate on batteries. Everything is controlled right here in the electronic controller. The higher the number, the hotter the flame. So think about putting porterhouse steaks on the grill, or better yet, maybe just do fish. Just turn it down to a lower temperature. You have a large grilling surface and even a warming area as well. So you have nice toasty warm buns while you're making some brats or hot dogs down below. Everything is included. We give you the tongs, we give you the brush, we give you the igniter papers and the pre-cut logs. You even have not only a cover lid for the grill, but then you also have the portability of having a carrying case so you can take it on the go. If you've always wanted a grill that had a lot more power and a lot more heat, but didn't have all the weight of your regular grill, check out the Cook Air Grill. It's available here as a limited time special day offer as a deal of the day on SeenOnTV.com.
All right, so you saw that. Steven, what did you see?
Well, what did I see? Two things. I like the size. I can take it everywhere, and I like that you talked about. I could see it on my boat. I could see I'm taking it to maybe a park. I could see myself doing those things, and I really liked that you made it easy for people to understand all the different things that went with it.
Now imagine I did that entire pitch off the top of my head, no script, did it literally off the top of my head, and then they put in all the elements afterwards.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, think about that for a second. In today's world of infomercials, that would never happen ever again. But that entire pitch was one I came up with 5 minutes before I went on air.
John, what I'm seeing is that you're putting yourself as a consumer is going to enjoy it. That's what I'm seeing here. And you're telling that story about how I would enjoy it and making that connection so they can see themselves. That's what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, no, and that's why when I talked about, grills being big and bulky, and if you try to go tailgating, you couldn't do that. I mean, people have that problem, where the grills are just too big. They take up a lot of space. So, I started that way and then went into all the other things that really people could then envision themselves having the same problems. And it was just great that I had a company that worked behind the scenes to build B-roll after the fact to match up what I was saying. And that particular pitch was very good. Now there's another one, and we're going to talk about, this is all part of, doing your pitch. You've got to have great demos. And that's what I call the tour, where you're showing off the features and the benefits. And this tour is building up on that whole thing at the beginning where you made people believe that they were part of it, that they could see themselves reacting to it or being a part of the pitch. They've had the same problems. You come up with this great solution. And we did this product called the Drain Cyclone. And it was kind of a product that was based on an old school, old style drain cleaner. Didn't have, you know, chemicals, didn't have all the other stuff, but it was based on having good demos where, you know, people can remember the big clogged drain they had and how, you know, what a mess that can be, and then showing them how that you have a solution to that. So as you're thinking about your pitch and you're going through your problem solution, you know, time of your pitch, you're also coming up with demos that people are going to believe once they see it. So let's run the Drain Cyclone real quick, and then we'll get back to the rest of this.
To a common household problem, the clogged drain. Hi, it's John Cremeans with a smart solution to a common household problem. Hi, it's John Cremeans with a smart solution. Hi, it's John Cremeans with a smart. Hi, it's John Cremeans with a smart solution to a common household problem, the clogged drain. Don't damage your pipes with an abrasive metal snake. Expose yourself to dangerous chemicals, or worse yet, wait all day to invite a complete stranger into your home. Try the Sink Cyclone. It's the fastest way to clear any clog with ease. Simply attach the Sink Cyclone to your faucet. Stick the nozzle into the drain. Turn the water on and then watch this. Within seconds, the clog is gone. Its secret is a unique rotating tip with high-powered water jets that pressure clean your pipes from every direction. The front jet breaks up and destroys the buildup, and the side jets create a powerful cyclone to clear the clog in just seconds. To prove its power, I put the Sink Cyclone to the ultimate test by clogging this utility drain with food, hair, makeup, dirt, and coffee grinds. It doesn't get worse than this. But in just seconds, the Sink Cyclone clears it all away. Nothing stands in its way because it utilizes the same heavy-duty technology required for massive clogs in big city drain lines. Don't struggle with a messy plunger or break the bank with pricey plumbing fees when you can clear away the grime in a fraction of the time. And look at this. It even clears clogged toilets in a flush and clogged bathtubs in just seconds. Drains are designed to work with the flow of water, so why use anything else for a clog? The Sink Cyclone is a must-have for every home. Order right now and you'll also receive the Slender Snake, absolutely free. It's perfect for pressure cleaning recyclables, vases, baby bottles, food containers, and messy art projects. Sink Cyclone is built to last and it comes with a full guarantee. So call right now to receive this incredible TV offer. Call right now to receive the Sink Cyclone and Slender Snake for the unbelievable price of just $14.99. Or go to sinkcyclone.com, order now. Hi.
So that, what you just saw there, was the art of the demo and being a great part of the pitch, because we literally made you realize that every drain problem you've ever had in your entire life could be solved by having this one product, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, demos are important. Demos, I mean, so when you're thinking of your pitch, guys, right? And this is one of the things that a lot of entrepreneurs don't really think of when they're, you know, coming up with their idea. You know, they're all thinking they're kind of like they're tunnel focused, where they've got their problem, they got their solution. This is what I've done. This is how I make it. See, this is what it would do. No, you've got to have demos that rock it. That everybody in their life could. I mean, who hasn't walked into a bathroom and had a clogged, you know, toilet, or a bathroom sink when you're getting ready to brush your teeth, or your kitchen sink being clogged, right? So when you're going through your pitch, you know, start thinking about, you know, these features and benefits and some of the best ways to demonstrate them so that it's relatable to the audience.
You know what I liked about this one so much, John, is that you showed the problem, all right, and It was very, very clear, but you showed all the different ways it could be used. I don't think I see enough of that, Andrew, in some of the videos we see, that you could use it here, you could use it there. I mean, I love that you just hit, and it made it very versatile for me.
Yeah, think about this. That was a 2-minute spot, right? Or less than 2-minute spot. And I think we did 12 demos in 2 minutes.
Yeah, amazing.
Now, I know that I've never seen, when I've gone through an inventors area or an entrepreneurs area or anywhere, any trade show for that matter, and seen somebody, close it. And basically those demos closed the sale. They were their own closers, because once you saw it happen, you go, yeah, I've had that. I need that. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've walked in on that. That clog's gone. I want that, right? All you got to do is ask for the order at that point, because your demo pretty much sold your product.
Yeah, John, we usually see, when we see a video, a 1-minute video, we love this format, problem solution, but we never see the multiple uses from it. Andrew, have you ever seen that before? Some of the stuff that we see with our students?
I think inventors want to throw everything in the kitchen sink in there, but sometimes it's not a good idea, but sometimes it's a great idea.
Well,
Depends.
you know what it does for me? It shows that product can be used in so many different ways. I mean, it still solves the same problem as a clog,
right?
In a sink, but it showed in the bathroom. It showed some other ways to use it. I thought, and I love the pacing of it. It's very fast.
Yeah. And and sometimes you really got to think that when you only have a few minutes, you better get in what you can, and that's why practice is very important. That's why knowing the problem and the solution so well that no matter who your audience is, whether it's a lot of people or just one person, you're going to have in your arsenal of features and benefits for your product some great demos. One of them is going to hit the point, right? And you can kind of tell that when you're going through the pitch and you're talking to somebody, whether they related to it or not. I tend to want to, create the problem solution part of the pitch where I'm trying to hit the widest group of people possible with my opening statement, with my opening problem, trying to relate it to as many people as possible. Like the grill, when we were doing that, whether you're somebody that likes to tailgate, but your grills are too heavy, or maybe it doesn't get hot enough, or it can't change fast enough, or it's not portable enough. You're pretty much hitting you've thrown this big casting net out. You made them all see that in their life they've had that problem one time or another, and then you come up with the solution for it. Then you do the tour, and that's where the tour de force. You can do it called the tour or the tour de force. That's where the features and benefits and the great demos come in, where you may have already sold them from the first point, but if you haven't, you will before it's completely over.
John, we're getting some really good questions coming in here. If you guys have a question for John, please type it in, because we're going to be wrapping up here. Stephen, did you want to say something?
Yeah.
A whole hour's gone by that fast?
Yeah.
It's fast, John. When I was listening to him talk about the grill, I could almost close my eyes and listen to it and understand it.
Yeah.
How important is that, John, when you're thinking about when you're pitching, that people can visualize it without even seeing the product? Is that important or not?
It's a big time important, because that means you're hitting on some of the emotional touch points that they've had in their own life, that they can experience themselves having that same issue, that same problem, right? And if you can touch into those little emotional key points, you found the depth where you're going to be able to get them to buy it even earlier, because the moment they can visualize that and you can see them responding to what you're saying like that, then they're in. You literally have the first ability to close in your pitch. And then if you sold them, they took it from just that, you're in. If you have to sell them a little bit more, you're going to still get them. But it may just take you maybe another minute or two to get them. You just got to go right down the problem solution tour path, if you will.
Hannah made a interesting comment here, and I'd like you to comment on this. I love the choice of words used. Smart solution, must have. It's so definitive and convincing. So can you talk a little bit about the choice of words that you use?
Sure. I mean, the old pitch guys, it was a pattern. Back the guys of the circuses and the fairs and the boardwalks, and it was a pattern. And they had all of these sayings and phrases that they would just pull out of the sky that would emote some kind of reaction with the audience. It may not even have anything to do with the pitch. It's just that all of a sudden somebody laughs, or they think they get emotionally connected because something you said is either funny, something kind of connected to them in a weird way, and they believe it. So the old pitch guys, if you ever listen to some of the real good ones, and there are a lot of them, like Al Spino was there, Billy Mays, a lot of these guys would throw in these little quips, these little fun kind of off-point sayings or phrases that maybe you heard your grandfather say many years ago or whatever, and basically that pattern would keep people involved, and the pitch guy knew that if he could keep you involved and get you emotionally involved, you're enjoying your time, you're being entertained. They knew that at the end of this all, they were going to pull you in close enough to actually buy it. Now in today's world, like infomercials, you can see your problems, when you're cleaning your drain, the problems go away. A lot of these, they'll use phrases that rhyme, because people relate to that even more as well when they have that. So that's a good question. But yeah, a lot of the words that you use, whether it's some that you've come up with, or you've had other people write it for you. I use a book called Words That Sell.
Oh,
and
I have that book.
Oh yeah, well look at, I would be on air and I would literally go take one page and I would go through every word on that and relate it to the product I was selling on air. And so I would be able to do that a lot of times over in a night. But at that point, you start getting these words in your lexicon, and it's good to have a good lexicon of sales words and words that kind of emote emotion, or emote a want or desire to buy something. So that is something that we choose, and something that it takes a little time to learn, but it's always good to have in your back pocket when you're selling stuff.
Next question is from Angelica. Is it a good idea to use a spontaneous customer reaction to a product captured in a video? So you're showing something happening, the person's like, oh, to me that seems a little cheesy, but Angelica's.
Oh, you mean inside the video when you do the I mean they have people that specialize in that. Mm-hmm. The over the top, like crazy, like, oh my God, they've spilled it again kind of thing. Yeah. Those actually, what those do, they trigger an emotional kind of a trigger. I mean, even though they're kind of over the top and stupid, they've actually seen people in their own lives do it. So it brings attention. So when you're doing the whole before, like, oh my God, here's the problem, and we've seen it, and you go over the top, people either relate to it, they laugh at it, but they remember it. I mean, so sometimes over the top can be good. Because they'll remember that next time they see it, and every time they see it, they're going to remember the first time they laughed at it, or the first time they went, oh my God, they're doing it again. But they're going to remember your product, so you're in their mind already by that point. So sometimes that's actually pretty good. That's an older infomercial style, but you know what? It never gets old. Even the newer infomercials do the same thing right now.
I have a question for you based on Megan's comment here. She says, I think it's John's voice. He's a very energetic voice. So my question to you is, do you believe that anybody can be a pitch person depending on their voice or the way they appear or their confidence level with some training, or do you think sometimes people should find a friend or family member or somebody else that can do it for them? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Andrew, you're right. It's sometimes you may not be the best pitch person for your product is right, because it might just be too far outside of your personality. Because the best pitchmen in the world are gregarious when the light comes on. They're friendly. You know them the moment they look at you through the camera lens, or if you're in front of them when they look at you, you feel like they know you in a way. There are some people that they, even though they love their product and they have a big passion, it just doesn't translate well. So sometimes you may not be the best pitch person for your product, and that's not saying that's a bad thing. But as an entrepreneur, you realize that sometimes you have to pivot. Sometimes you have to see that you can't get out of your own way, and if someone did it the right way in pitching it, that you may become even more successful than you could possibly ever imagine. I don't mind stepping back from a product. And I did many times when I had someone with me as a guest and they were hitting on all cylinders and they were doing everything. I let them go because I stepped back and let them pitch it, because at that moment in that time, they were in their moment. They knew more about that product than I would ever know, even though I probably knew a lot that they knew already. But they came across believable and really they really had the connection with the viewer and the audience.
Stephen has a question, but I want to let everybody know, please look for the questions box and type a thank you for John, maybe a little more than just thank you. Say something how you feel about his presentation. And John, I'd like to send all those to you tomorrow.
Oh, thank you. That'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be very nice. Thank you.
Two quick questions for you, John. How important it is to learn how to smile while you're talking?
Oh, big time. Because it shows the inner you. If you can smile, and my smile never really is forced. I'm pretty much happy all the time, and right. And I look at these new ways of doing business, and people are seeing this now. Heck, last weekend I did this 3-day event called InstaCell, and it was all on where you could see each other, and like everybody is in part of it. We're actually looking at each other. Man, I looked at the people that were smiling more than I did anybody else, because I could tell something in their heart or something in their mind or something in what they're doing, they were doing right, and they were happy to be there. So yes, smiling is important. I mean, never force a smile because people can tell. Right. But if you ever meet me, I mean, I smile and I smile. I mean, I'm just always that way.
All right. One last question. What about the wow factor, John? Someone referred it to as the magic trick, but the wow factor. How important is that to set that up so people go, wow, I want that?
Well, I mean, it's a big thing. I mean, that makes your job easier, right? If they can be wowed by what you're Go ahead.
I saw the drain being cleaned, right? You're pushing it through. That's that wow factor, right? I mean, that was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I need that. I mean, you stacked all the stuff in the drain even. It's this and this and this and this, and it just blows through.
No, you're absolutely right. But here's the thing, that, like I was saying earlier, that wow factor, every time you saw it happen, you wanted it.
Yeah.
Because it was that good. If the wow can be enough to close the sale without you saying a word, then you've done your job right. Now that's not going to happen for every product, but that can with some, and then with others. I mean, I had and God, Stephen, I'd love to have you on one of these weekend events we do, because I think you're insightful, and your knowledge on licensing and everything. You're seeing some of the things that I pick up on when I look, and you think you guys are a great resource. I'd love to I'll invite you to one of our next events, because I'd like to see what you think about some of these people, because
I could ask you questions all night long, but I got to ask this one. When do you stop selling?
Ooh, that's a good one.
When they buy it, when you have the money in your pocket.
John, you're the best. Thank you.
Time to take them out for a beer.
I'm going to read just a few of these thank yous for you, John. I can't read them all because there's too many. This is from TA. John, you are a light. Thank you for taking the time with us. Thought that one was pretty cool.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
This is from Marie Eve. Love this. So inspiring to have so much knowledge and experience like John. Thank you for all the tips. What a voice. I'm sure that's the first time you heard that. Stephanie, very informative. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us and sharing your experiences. Mike, John, I'm humbled that I could be part of this presentation. Wow, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and experience.
Oh, thank you.
There's just a whole ton of them like that. I'll send them on over to you. If you guys have any, wow, a whole bunch of them. You'll get them.
Those that know me know that I'm not, I sometimes don't know what to say when people compliment me. I love what I do. I have a passion for what I've done for so many years. That's the reason I've been in the business as long as I have. And it always amazes me that this young guy that started in radio when I was in high school in Minneapolis, St. Paul, that got a chance to sell the world. And to that, I thank all of you for listening and being a part of this today.
Thank you, John.
John, you're the best.
No, thanks, guys. Thanks,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody. Take care. Keep inventing. Good night.
Good night, everybody.